Hi everyone, it's Moustache. Invincible Versus is a 3v3 tag fighter game. Unfortunately, it seems there's not enough going on. Code for, basically there aren't enough characters on the base roster, because interest generally seems to be fading. I mean, it's probably better on console, but Steam charts. Yeah, this is only Steam, so only a portion of the PC player base, because this is probably on the Epic Game Store. So it seems we need to try again. In today's upload, I'm providing to you 6 new potential sequels or spin-offs for Invincible Versus. Assume that the Invincible character roster for each game idea is the same as the Invincible Versus base roster, including all DLC that we know of and more. Basically, your favorite character has been added to Invincible Versus already at this point in time, because we're speaking hypothetically, in the future. So get ready to get ready. Pick your favorite Invincible Versus 2. Make sure to hide a like underneath the video. Number 5. Invincible Versus Capcom. Come and mop up, boys. I'm done. That's a solid, level playing field for Invincible, I believe. Tons of Capcom characters can totally wipe the floor with Viltrumites or fuck them up with magic. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is such a fun game. I like to play as Phoenix Wright. And real quick, I'd like to point out that the Invincible vs. devs totally copied Phoenix Wright's skins for Cecil's suit recolors. Pretty similar. Invincible vs. Marvel vs. Capcom would be a real banger game too, but that's way too many studios cooperating. Capcom's most certainly possible. I could see this happening. They even have an Overwatch collab, Street Fighter. The roster would include Capcom heavy hitters like Ryu, Ken, and Chun-Li, as well as other Street Fighter reps, but also would probably have Mega Man, Frank West, and don't forget Darkstalkers. They need to add more to make sure that it matches the amount of Invincible Versus characters. And I've even included a few new ones like Drum and Bass from Mega Man and Chuck Green. Exciting content arrival. Number 4. Invincible Versus The Boys. Homelander vs. Omni-Man? I must raise the bar here to the max. What if we got Invincible vs. The Boys? A sequel to Invincible Versus that features almost every The Boys viable fighter character, against the full finished roster of Invincible Versus. Now, it's a lot of work. It's essentially just suggesting every The Boys character gets added to Invincible Versus, depending on how you look at it. I don't suppose Quarter Up could pull in a few more developers? So I, of course, used the Universa the 7 fighting game from The Boys as a basis for this. I kept most of the characters from the roster of that fictional game and added who I logically thought would be added if the game covered the entire cast of the show. From levels of importance to moveset potential, I've got a lot of interesting choices. A lot of The Boys characters, including some of the main ones, have little power in the face of a Viltrumite, so they all kinda operate on that Cecil Stedman logic, being able to take punches just so the game is fair. At least Butcher as Compound V, but I did also choose Ashley, MM, and Frenchie. They play an important role in every episode. They're all in every episode of the show, so yes, I'll admit it, I don't even know what Ashley's supposed to do in this fighting game, but I want her as a character. I think everyone would want her as a character. Frenchie's just a normal human, but at least he could throw drugs in your face or something. You may notice that Huey is not on the base roster, as he's the main character, but I've also suggested a DLC pack including Ryan, Victoria Newman, and Firecracker along with him. His power is just to teleport and get naked. It's useless. There are a lot more The Boys characters here than Invincible characters, but keep in mind that Invincible Versus has more DLC on the way. And at this time, we're still only confirmed to be getting Angstrom Levy, but we know a lot more of them are coming. And as I said in the beginning of the video, imagine your favorite Invincible Versus characters got added to even out this roster nicely. Number 3. Invincible vs. Indie. Invincible is now the household name when it comes to popular indie comics. What if the sequel focused less on Invincible and more on indie comics in general? Not just characters published by Image Comics, but mostly. Other recognizable stars like The Tick, Big Head, Cerebus the Aardvark, Also some popular characters that Skybound Comics are currently publishing for, like Transformers, G.I. Joe, and the Universal monsters. Yep, the actual Frankenstein and Dracula, and such. The Mummy, more than enough to match the roster of Invincible Versus, by the way. I must reinstate that Invincible Versus will have a much larger roster at this point. This game we're talking about here may yearn to be more of its own project, separate from Invincible Versus. As you can see, I've only included 3 reps in it. From Invincible, we can put a focus on all indie and Image comics for this one. Do you agree with this choice? It feels like I'm proposing a perfect indie comic Smash Bros. Video game. Characters from G.I. Joe, Universal monsters, and Transformers and such are welcome too, as long as they're being published by Image Comics or Skybound. Number 2. Invincible vs. DC. Given Invincible's parody status of Superman, and the game's similarity to Mortal Kombat, doing DC for a crossover sequel might be the right way to go. The Invincible vs. developers, with their experience making superhero fighting game characters, would probably enjoy making DC character movesets, and working with characters that are popular in new DC movies right now. Otherwise, this could also just be a joint project with NetherRealm, and the DC characters could come with lots of similar moves to how they appear in Injustice and Mortal Kombat vs. DC. And just like that, you would also get some Mortal Kombat DLC characters as a bonus. Will we see Scorpion in Invincible vs? Let's find out. Peacemaker's second time in a fighting game won't be missed in this random crossover with Invincible vs. He'd have lots of moves from Mortal Kombat 1. I've got lots of new additions that have been popularized by the new DCEU, and they need new and creative movesets, and I need your guys' help, so make sure to leave a comment down below if you have any ideas for movesets for characters such as Dr. Phosphorus or Mr. Terrific. Honorable mention: Invincible vs. Amazon. On the topic of projects separate from Invincible vs., this one really should be as far as it gets. It should most certainly focus on every program, cartoon, or show under Amazon Prime's branding. By the way, would this be called Invincible vs. Prime or Invincible vs. Amazon Prime? I don't know. It would feature such stars like Invincible, Adam Eve, and Omni-Man. And from Amazon's other most popular superhero feature, The Boys, Billy, Butcher, and Huey. Also, The Tick, yet again in this list, and Arthur. Also keep an eye out for Azrael and Crowley from The Good Omens, here to have witty dialogue and a funny dynamic with the Has-Been Hotel universe characters, of course. Of course, many of them would be present, considering the show's popularity and its spin-off shows. But the Fallout characters who live gritty and violently realistic lives would hate the Has-Been Hotel characters, as their conflicting art styles would highlight their differences. Still, there would be some kind of baseline art style that allows for the realistic TV show characters to remain realistic. They'd still all match to some degree, just like Multiverses, even if this is its own game, and we got one of the previous entries, specifically one that could feature Homelander and Omni-Man fighting again. Just do it over and over again, guys, trust me, keep banking on Omni-Man versus Homelander. This is yet another way to do it. I think this game would actually have like sort of a subspace emissary, like a story mode kind of thing, where there's always 2 characters and they're always trying to get that third character out of the evil red box, because there's an evil antagonist that took a character from every universe, and this leads to, you know, all the characters interacting with each other. So there you go. Number 1. Invincible vs. Killer Instinct. Alright guys, if any of my last ideas were starting to sound a little funny, then let's get back on track. I think this is the most likely option if we were to get a sequel to Invincible vs. This could look like the Invincible vs. series' own version of Mortal Kombat vs. DC. A fantastic classic. If you don't already know, Invincible vs. shares a majority of the core development team of 2013's Killer Instinct. The game was relatively successful. When it comes to Killer Instinct, it's the latest entry in the series though, and Invincible vs. may be a fantastic piggyback for it to rise back to popularity again. The Killer Instinct roster is full of really fun characters with exciting designs. All of them could get refreshing stylizations to match the art style of Invincible vs. There would be cuts made to the Invincible Versus roster, though, to match its count closer to it in Killer Instincts. In a perfect world, they could get all the guest characters that they had in previous games. I really don't think that could happen, but I don't know, maybe Killer Instinct fans, real ones from the 2013 game, can't go without playing General Fuckface from Gears of War 3 or the Arbiter from Halo, so maybe they could consider it to try and get them in. Otherwise, make new Killer Instinct characters. This game would be a one-on-one fighting game instead of a 3v3, by the way. Bank the survival of Invincible Versus return on fans of Killer Instinct. It's a combo attack in itself. A combo of Invincible Versus and Killer Instinct. Maybe because it's the future, the game could be crazy, having both previous titles, Invincible Versus and Killer Instinct 2013, on it as well. Playable as bonuses, as well as the retro title, Killer Instinct. All playable in like a retro section. Like, just included bundle with these games, but more like it's on the disc. It's like Sonic Gems Collection. Well, that's all I've got for this. Killer Instinct is a great game. The developers are talented. I've never actually played the game. So if you have any ideas, leave some comments down below and let me know if you've enjoyed it playing it, back in the day. Thank you so much for watching. What are your thoughts on the overall lifespan of Invincible Versus? Are you ready for another entry in the series? Transforming this from a game into a franchise? What crossover, gimmick, or predatory monetization tactic do you think should be utilized to make it a success? Leave a subscribe down below in the subscription box and make sure to comment. We need to hear some subscriptions. Carry on.